Welcome to Life with Jemma Blythe. This is your midweek coffee break, a pause for reflection, a sip of something warm, and a wander into the shadows where myths, mental health, and queer women's stories meet. Each week, we'll take a legend or a piece of folklore and turn it over, like a stone in your hand, to see what truths are hidden underneath. The eerie, the haunting, the half-forgotten. They all have something to tell us about survival, healing, and finding our own kind of magic. So, pour your coffee, settle in, let's step into the story.
Hello and welcome back. How is everybody? We are on Blythe Coffee Break, and this week we are talking about all things burnout and banshees and how might they be connected. So this is your midweek pause at Blythe Coffee Break, and we are talking about how a banshee isn't necessarily a curse, but more a cry of warning. Now, to those familiar with the banshee myth, that might sound a bit, huh? What the hell is she on about now? Well, I wondered that too, I'll be honest, and this made me want to know more. So, the banshee myth is said that a crone supernatural fairy woman would take many different guises, and this comes from Celtic folklore, right? So it's set right in Irish Celtic folklore, which is just, it gets me so excited. I love it. And she's said to appear with like a mournful, ghoulish wail or keening that forewarns a family member of their family member's impending death. She is seen as a protective figure for certain old Irish families, appearing at night to deliver a warning cry before death occurs. The banshee can appear in various guises, from a beautiful young woman to an ugly hag, but sometimes she is seen washing clothes near a river or lake. Okay, so the descriptions of her vary from a ragged old crone to a wild-haired mourner to an ethereal young woman, and she always heralds. She doesn't cause the death, she always heralds it. But because of her appearance and nature, she's been linked to this curse. And her sound is piercing, impossible to ignore. And so you can understand why it's become quite a haunted thing. Okay. So how does this link? How does this link to us in the moment? How does it link to burnout? How do we feel about these different things happening with this banshee? What the hell's going on, in other words? So, women's cries are often silenced in life. Banshee has been known as a symbol of forbidden expression. So, think about this. So, women have to try harder than some other people to be heard. This echoes back to when we used to say women and children should be seen and not heard. And that is complete and utter nonsense. We know now that women should be heard equally to men. We know that everybody should have the chance to be heard. Okay. So, and then how does it parallel with burnout? Okay, so burnout occurs as a form of being strong for too long, of taking on so much when something is bound to break. So we get exhaustion, headaches, brain fog, which often add to us feeling more irritable in day-to-day life. And when you think about that, those are warning signs of something impending on us, of an impending collapse almost. Is that not what the banshee does? Is that not what she warns people of? She warns people of something tragic impending on them and on their family. Is that not what those headaches and brain fog and exhaustion do to us? It links, you've got to admit, it links. Just imagine that we, as women or people, wailed every time we were in pain, or wailed every time something happened with us that we weren't used to. Are we listened to all the time? Are we heard all the time when we really need to be? And the reason that the banshee unsettles so much is because she wails in pain. And how often have we been told to shut up or be quiet by others when we've really, really needed attention? When we've really, really, truly deserved that attention from others. So I will give you a little coffee shop confession now that leans into more of a scenario, if you will. So imagine this, okay? I'm going to set the scene. You're sitting in a coffee shop, your laptop's open on the table in front of you, you've got your coffee going cold, and you're deep into exhaustion. You cannot carry on anymore. Now, if somebody could hear inside of you, they'd hear a banshee's wail saying, I can't carry on, I'm too tired, I'm exhausted, I'm hitting a wall, I could scream. Okay? That's what they could hear inside of you. But the outside perception is that you look normal. You're holding it together. You're holding everything together. You're being the boss bitch about this situation and you're just powering on through. But the inside truth is that you're silently screaming due to burnout. And the turning point here is learning that the scream isn't a weakness. It's a message. It's saying that you need help. You shouldn't feel ashamed of asking other people for help. And sometimes you just need to talk and reach out to the right people. That's something that I've had to do in my life. And it's so hard to friggin' do because you're so used to being the strong one all the time. You're so used to being, yeah, okay, I'll do that and I'll do that and I'll do this. Then at the end of the day, you end up flopping down and think, oh my God, I wish I hadn't done all that. So it's crazy. It really, really is. Just because we are human, we are people, doesn't mean to say that we should say yes to this, that, and the other because we know we can do it. No, no, and nope. Sit down, realize that you need to take a break. You need to listen to these warning signs. You need to be that banshee wailing at people saying, I need help because I've been too strong for too long. So I need somebody else to take some of the weight. So what are some of the things that we can take away from this? Reframe the banshee as not a curse, but a guardian voice, that voice inside of us that we need to start listening to and taking notice of. Because if we don't, there's only us that we're letting down. We're not letting anybody else down. We're letting ourselves down. So I have a mini ritual for you to take a little bit of calmness into the rest of your day with. So I want you to breathe in and out slowly and steadily. Okay. I want you to sit with a hand on your chest or both hands on your chest and take 3 long audible sighs and exhales. Let the sound be raw and imperfect. Now, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. What is my body warning me about right now? What am I afraid of losing if I don't rest? Journal these or whisper the answers out loud to yourself. Maybe make a note of them and keep these questions with you as they can be so impactful as you go about your day or take note of all the different things going on inside of you. Your feelings are the key. Okay, so I'll share a little bit of a closing reflection with you. The banshee doesn't curse, she protects by warning. Burnout as our banshee, not shameful, but a chance to stop before collapse. Honor your body's cries. Give yourself rest without feeling guilty. You aren't the guilty party here. No one is. Sometimes the wail in the night isn't doom. It's a promise there's still time to save what matters. Thank you so much for joining. Much love and see you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for sharing this coffee break with me. If today's story stirred something in you, remember, you're not alone. The myths we carry are old, but the lives we're living are